I'm the lawn engineer and I'm on a mission today. My front area here where I'm doing my shortcut experiment, trying to keep this at 1.5 inches, got away from me a bit. It's getting hot today. It's low 90s and humid. So I had to put some disease prevention on, some fungicide. So I threw that down a couple days ago. So I didn't want to cut. And we got some rain. It's been hot, so this stuff's growing like crazy. So I'm gonna start with measuring here because I really don't know where I'm at. I really want to be good and adhere to that 1/3 rule and cut off no more than 1/3 of the grass blade. So we'll go through how I look at that, and then we'll get to mowing this. Now, I haven't done this before, but I just was curious if I actually go in the turf here and cut off as low as possible some grass and then take a measurement of it and see where we're actually at. All right, I found a spot in the lawn that was fairly representative of the overall turf there. And you can see, I'm making a mess of it now, but this one I got just above the ground there. And if I were a smarter arborist or something, I'd probably know what kind of grass that is. I don't know if it's supposed to branch off like that. But anyway, let's take a look and see where we're at for height. So some of this were, for the most part, really were maybe, you know, if we eliminate the high and the low and go toward the middle, we're at 3 inches. So the 1/3 rule, that makes that pretty easy. That says we want to cut off no more than 1 inch and go down to 2 inches. So I might cheat that a little bit. Like I said, my goal is 1.5 inches for this turf. Maybe I'll go to 1.75 inches. I think that wouldn't be too bad. Again, it's not following the rule exactly, but we'll see what happens. But it is interesting. I think I'm gonna put this in the turf now and see what I get for a measurement there versus actually cutting a piece out and laying it like that. All right, we're down in the turf here. Let's see what we can actually get for a measurement here. And there's definitely a spongy layer on top there. So if I actually go down to the dirt, I'm getting about the same, 3 inches. But if I don't go down to the dirt and stay on top of that thatchy layer, you know, depending on how hard I push down, I lose maybe 1/4 inch. A lot of it's maybe showing 2.5 then. You know, I got some down at 1.75 inches yet. It's like there's some lower stuff in there, and then there's a few stragglers that are quite a bit taller. So I think if I aim for 1.75 inches, I'll be fine based on the measurements here. Okay, I've done my trim pass here, and I want to actually see what height I'm cutting at. So let's see where we net out here. We're at 2 inches exactly, it looks like. So I'm gonna lower it down a bit more and go again. All right, I've lowered it down. We'll see where we're at now. Looks like we're just at our 1.75 inches, so I'm gonna leave it there and get this thing cut. just finished up cutting here, and it's looking pretty sweet. The condition of the grass, those stripes. I don't know if you can tell in the cutting footage. I plugged up about 3/4 of the way through here, the bagger, so there's some chunks left on there. We'll take a look what it actually looks like in the bagger. But that's very disappointing. When I was measuring laying on the ground, there was some dampness in the grass just because it is quite humid out here. And if you've been following my channel, you know when I got the bagger unit, it was missing the high lift bagging blade and the deck baffle. I have since received and put on the bagging blade. I still don't have the baffle for the deck. It's on back order, I guess the dealer says. But I'm a little disappointed by that bagger unit plugging up. So we'll take a look how bad it is in the chute. But it still looks pretty sweet when it cuts. I mean, I don't have my stripes perfect. I don't have a lot of room to operate here in front, but it looks pretty darn good after it cuts. But I would prefer that bagger not plug up. Okay, let's take a look inside the bagger, see what we have for clippings. And you know, it looks like we're about right there. We're cutting off probably an inch. Well, that one, look at how long that one was. Wow. But for the most part, most of these are, you know, got some real short ones here, probably 1/4 to a 1/2 inch, others over an inch, but I think we're adhering to that rule pretty good. We're not cutting it in half at least. See there, I got a bag and a 1/4 maybe, but I believe the problem plugging up was in the chute here. You can see I got a bunch of buildup over here. Let's take off this piece. Yeah, you can see we're all jammed up here, and there's definitely some moisture in that. Like I said, I think we got an inch of rain a couple days ago, and then a light rain last night. But it's, you know, it's later in the day here. I mean, it's wet, but I would really like that not to plug up in these conditions. Hopefully, once I get that baffle and install it, it makes a big difference. I'm a little leery that'll be a huge change, but we'll see. Look at that baby. Okay, I'm getting ready to cut the other 29,000 square feet of my lawn that I keep generally around 3 inches long. As I say, that front area I just cut is more of an experiment, and because I like the look of shortcut grass, but it's a little bit too much to manage for all 30,000 square feet. So I just took a clipping of my longer cut areas here to see where I'm at, and it looks like on average I'm about 4 inches. There's a few blades that are over that, but 1/3 of 4 is 1.2 inches, so that brings us down just under 3 inches. About 2 3/4, so I'll plan on cutting at 3 today. cutting the rest of my lawn here, which I'm cutting at about 3 inches. I thought I'd give you an update on the bagger so you can see I'm able to fill it quite full. I even have some room in the second bag here. And I'm not having any issues with plugging. I think that's a couple reasons. There's still pretty good dampness internal to the grass because we've had some rain recently, but I think cutting off the tips of the grass, there's a little less moisture in there. On the shortcut turf, I'm so close to the ground, I think the grass outside of the grass blade stays a little wetter. And then just the gap between the deck and the ground when I'm cutting low is very small, and it's restricting the airflow to come into the deck and go up through the tube and into the bagger. When I'm cutting a little higher, I have a bigger gap there, so it's the pressure drop coming into that deck is smaller, and I get more volume of airflow to keep things moving. Anyway, thought I'd give you that update. So I just finished cutting here, emptied out my bags. See, never have enough sunglasses. And I didn't plug up anymore. Cutting the taller grass, I think it's a combination, like I said, that shorter cut. The closer you are to turf, the more moisture there is. And that deck being close to the ground really restricts that airflow coming into the deck to push the grass up through the bagger. So that was not an issue. Cutting at 3 inches, everything went fine. And I gotta show you this. Look at those stripes. So there's a couple things to note there. How sweet this grass looks cutting with the Simplicity in this roller deck. But also in there, that new grass is 2 weeks old. I planted that 2 weeks ago exactly. That used to be a garden. We're turning back into grass. If you want to know how to plant grass effectively and easily, search for a video I've got, how to plant grass seed the easy way, most effective, and you can see the results there speak for itself. So wanted to share that with you. Looking good, happy with everything. Again, I still need that baffle for the bagger kit. Hopefully that improves the bagging even more. But I think with the cutting that short is something I'm gonna have to deal with. Maybe go a little slower or something like that. But so long for now. Adios.